Hello everyone and welcome into Coach Craig's Sports. This is the NBA DFS Core Pick video for Wednesday, January 29th. If you're joining me for the very first time, first of all, welcome in. Second of all, this is how today's video will be structured. We'll be going over my core picks for both DraftKings and FanDuel. In the morning, I'll be posting an injury report. There's only going to be one team on the back-to-back for the main slate since both sites are only doing the first 9 games of the night. The 2 late games will not be on there, so the Warriors are technically on a back-to-back, but that will not matter for our DFS content here. So the 76ers will be the only team on the back-to-back for the main slate, so their injury report will be updated later on in the day, and I'll be leaving all the injury updates throughout the day down in the comments section, as well as an updated core about 20 to 30 minutes prior to lock, or as those changes do become available. And then I will also be posting as many starting lineups as I can get to throughout the evening as well. But without further ado, we'll get right into it with the DraftKings side. And we're going to start off at the point guard position with Malik Monk. He is technically a shooting guard for the Kings most of the time, or at least that's where he starts alongside De'Aaron Fox as of late. $7,200. We're looking for 36 out of him. He's averaging just under 35 so far on the season. Pretty attractive matchup versus the Philadelphia 76ers. He's been playing really well as of late. Currently, I'm projected for about 38 fantasy points. Definitely has some pretty strong upside for more at the same time as well. Then we move down to shooting guard once again with Kelly Oubre Jr. on the opposite end of that game. We'll see whether or not Paul George plays in this game or not. If Paul George ultimately ends up playing, might get off Kelly Oubre at that point in time. But at $6,100, technically $100 cheaper than he was on Tuesday night slate. Decent matchup versus the Kings. You know, if there is no Paul George, if there's no Joel Embiid, once again, he's going to look pretty good overall, and would currently have him projected for 33-34 in that situation. So definitely has some pretty strong upside once again. Then we move down to small forward, Mikal Bridges of the New York Knicks. He's playing really well the last couple of games. $6,400, looking for 32 out of him. He's averaging about 30.5 so far in the season. So matchup versus the Denver Nuggets, but should be out there playing big minutes as per usual. If his shot's going down, if he's contributing in a few different ways as he's been as of late, should ultimately end up paying off at this price tag. Currently, I'm projected for 34. Has a little bit upside for more if he's going out there, if he's playing well. Has a little bit downside for less at the same time as well. Then we move down to power forward. We're taking a shot here on Keegan Murray at $4,800. Only looking for 24 out of him to pay off at 5 times value. Currently averaging 27 so far on the season. Pretty attractive matchup versus the Philadelphia 76ers. The minutes were down in his most recent game, but the couple games prior to that was not a concern in terms of minutes. If he's going out there, if he's getting the minutes, more likely than not, he's paying off at this price tag. Would have him currently projected right around that 27 fantasy points per game that he is averaging on the season. Could have a little bit of upside for more. You know, if that 3 ball's going down, could have a little bit of downside for less if he ultimately ends up losing out on some minutes. And then last but not least, we're going down to the center position with a paydown option in Moussa Diabate, probably mispronouncing his name, of the Charlotte Hornets. Mark Williams is not available for this game. Obviously, they traded Nick Richards away not too long ago, so Diabate will be the center that plays probably the most minutes for them in this game. They might ultimately end up starting Taj Gibson just to start Taj Gibson, but he is quite old at this point in time. He's not capable of playing a lot of minutes. Diabate should go out there, play a decent handful of minutes. $3,700, you're only looking for 19 out of him. Ultimately, you at least like to get 20 out of these cheaper guys just in general, but I think there's a pretty good upside there going against the Brooklyn Nets. 2 teams that aren't the greatest, 2 teams that really aren't going anywhere at this point in time, so Diabate should go out there, be pretty effective in this game overall. There's no LaMelo Ball, so there is some usage to go around. I don't think he's a guy that's going to eat up a lot of usage, but if he's going out there, if he's playing 28 minutes, there is a pretty good chance that he gets 26 fantasy points, and that's kind of what I do have him projected for, at least early on. Looks like one of the better value plays on the slate overall. But with that being said, if you go with the 5 players that I do currently have listed here, you have $21,800 remaining. Just over $7,200 remaining per player, so a good amount of money remaining whether or not you want to pay up for a star player, whether you want to go with a little bit more balanced approach. We'll see what other values potentially open up throughout the day as the day moves along at the same time as well. But with that being said, we'll get moved over to FanDuel and talk about my core picks over there as well. So on the FanDuel side, we're going to go to the point guard position with James Harden. $9,300, looking for 46, 47 out of him. Averaging about 43 so far in the season. Pace up spot versus the San Antonio Spurs. He's played really well his last 3 games, so I think there is a good amount of upside here. Currently, I'm projected for about 48, 49 in this contest. Could have some upside for more. Obviously, there is a little bit of downside for less at the same time as well, but I do expect this to be a pretty interesting back and forth game just in general. Then we're going to move down to shooting guard. We got Duncan Robinson here, so obviously Jimmy Butler is suspended for the indefinite future, so a lot of these Miami Heat guys in the interim are going to look a little bit better. Duncan Robinson been in that starting lineup, playing pretty well most of the time. Looking for 24, 25 out of him to pay off at 5 times value. Currently, I'm projected for 27. A little bit tougher matchup versus the Cleveland Cavaliers, but if he's going out there, if his shot's going down, if he's getting the minutes, he's going to look like a really good value overall. And then we move down to small forward with Mikal Bridges once again, $6,600 on the FanDuel side. Obviously, if you get some defensive stats out of him, you get the extra point bonus there as well, which is something that he's capable of doing. Typically done a little bit more in the past than he has probably a little bit this season. I don't have those stats right in front of me, so that could be just how I'm feeling at this point in time, but I feel like he's maybe taking a little bit of a step back in terms of that this season. But I do like the upside there versus the Denver Nuggets. Not the greatest matchup in the world, but it's kind of a so-so one. Probably knocks down the pace just a little bit. But at $6,600, looking for 33 points. Currently I'm projected for about 34, 35. He's played really well the last 2 games. If that trend continues, once again, he's going to look like a really good value on this slate overall. There is a little bit of risk there if he goes out and has one of those less than stellar games at the same time as well, though. And then we move down to power forward with Miles Bridges of the Charlotte Hornets, $7,700, looking for 38, 39 out of him. Averaging 35 so far in the season. Attractive matchup versus the Brooklyn Nets. I believe Cam Johnson's going to be out once again for this game, and Noah Clowney is also out. So he's probably getting like Jalen Wilson on him a lot of times, maybe Zaire Williams, which Zaire Williams is a pretty good defender, so that might be a knock against him. But no LaMelo Ball in this game. Miles Bridges is going to get all the usage he can handle and has some pretty strong upside. Currently, I'm projected for 40-41 in this game. But if he goes out there, if he's playing well with all that usage he's getting, he does have a ton of upside for even more than that at the same time. And then last but not least, we're going down to center position. Once again, we got Moussa Diabate, probably mispronouncing his name once again. He's $4,100, so a little bit more expensive on the FanDuel side, but still a relatively cheap center if he goes out there, if he gets 28 minutes with no Mark Williams out there, Nick Richards just trade away. So it's really just him and Taj Gibson at that center position. Gibson might ultimately end up getting the start, but I'm not really worried about that. Diabate should go out there if he gets that 28 minutes once again. I think there's a good chance that he gets 26 fantasy points, and at $4,100, that's going to look like one of the better values, at least early on in the day. But with that being said, if you go with the 5 players that I do currently have listed here, you have $27,400 remaining, just over $6,800 remaining per player. Looks like a little bit more of a balanced build type of day, at least early on, but we'll see if any other values do ultimately end up opening up throughout the day. Once again, all those injury updates, everything else like that will be listed down in the comment section of this video, so definitely make sure you're checking up as the day moves along. But with that being said, that's what I do have in terms of my core picks for both DraftKings and FanDuel for Wednesday, January 29th. As always, if you have any questions related to NBA DFS, be sure to leave them down in the comment section of this video, and I'll get back to you as quickly as possible. Once again, in the morning, we'll have an injury report, at least what we know early on in the day. That will be left as a pinned comment. Injury updates throughout the day. We'll get the back-to-back news for the Philadelphia 76ers later on in the day as well. And then about 20 to 30 minutes prior to lock, I'll leave a pinned comment with my updated core. If there's any changes after that point in time, we'll leave a reply to that pinned comment at the same time as well. And then as per usual, I will be leaving as many starting lineups as I can get to down in the comment section throughout the night as well. So definitely make sure you're checking up on that comment section, especially as we do get closer to lock. But with that being said, if you are brand new to my channel, checking out for the very first time, or have yet to subscribe, please consider doing so. Definitely would appreciate it. Helps to build the community that we're trying to build here at Coach Craig Sports, which is one that's truly for you, the viewers, helping you with your DFS. Right now, we just have NBA DFS going on in terms of the core pick videos Tuesday through Friday. And then last but not least, if you're interested in sports betting, if you're interested in prop betting whatsoever, be sure to check out the links and promo codes down in the description below for BetUS, Parlay Play, and Prize Picks. If you're a brand new user on any one of those 3 sites, when you sign up, make your initial deposit, you will get a first match deposit bonus. For Prize Picks and Parlay Play, it's 100% match up to $100. And then for BetUS, it's 125% match up to $2,000. So some pretty great opportunities to be had out there. If you have any other additional questions related to that whatsoever, feel free to reach out to me, whether it's down in the comment section of this video or on Twitter at Coach Craig Sport, and be more than happy to help you with that journey as well. But with that being said, that's all that I truly have for today's video. Definitely do appreciate each and every one of you tuning in. Definitely means a lot to me. I hope that each and every one of you have a great rest of your day and some pretty good luck in NBA DFS for Wednesday, January 29th.